Alright, yeah, and welcome back to some more Magic Arena, and today we're going to be checking out Dominaria United, the newest set to the Magic Arena client, and we're going to be doing it via a Premier draft. So I've actually drafted this set once already, and I went 7-2, so I'm officially a professional drafter. But yeah, joking aside, I actually haven't drafted since, what was the set before Kamigawa? Whatever that one was. I think that was the last one I drafted. So it's been a while, so to have my first draft be a 7-2, just, I think, goes to show how, easy to get into this draft format actually ends up being. It's a very nice, fun format anyway, so figured I would do some drafting with you guys today. I should also mention as well that I'm going to be rare drafting, because I am primarily on this channel, as you know, a constructed player. So I'm only really doing drafting for the rares and the mythics I can pick up in the packs, and therefore that's what I'm going to be doing. I rare drafted in my 7-2 and had absolutely no issues whatsoever doing that either. So yeah. I'm going to probably make some mistakes. My card evaluations are going to be based on the single game of draft that I have played. So by no means are my evaluations on the cards actually accurate. But it's just my personal feelings, I'd say, on my experience with the draft anyway. What I think cards are good, what I think they're bad, you know, that usual thing. So, without further ado, let's get started. As I say, I rare drafted the last one, and nothing's going to change here. We're still going to be rare drafting. And, to be honest, every time I draft, I usually rare draft, and I get a fair few trophies. So, you know, in the later portions of drafting, when you're going up into the higher ranks, I would probably advise doing it a whole lot less. But in bronze area, you can get away with it by all means, and it's a great way to build your collection as well. There's a reason why I've got excessive wild cards, and it is not because I put in more money than I needed to. So Defiler of Dreams is going to be our rare. We're probably going to be taking it. A 5 mana 4/3 with flying as additional cost to cast blue permanent spells. You can pay 2 life instead. And then this effect reduces the amount of blue mana you pay. Whenever you cast a blue permanent spell, draw a card. That is absurd. Alright, we would love to make sure that that works in our deck. I did Esper Control for my first run. So, you know, having a Defiler of Dreams as some top-end payoff, I would wish I would have had a card like this during that draft. So maybe I just build Esper Control all over again. My Esper Control deck had a load of removal in it, and not so many counter spells. So there is an Urtai Scorn over here, which is just going to be a cancel. I think most of the time it's not actually going to cost just 1 and a blue. I'm kind of thinking just take Phyrexian Rager, to be honest. There is a Contaminated Aquifer. Yeah, I think just a 3 mana 2/2 draw a card is just perfectly fine. Ooh, look at that. Alright, so that is an unsummon that can also just be a removal spell. And if we're sticking to Dimir, we've got some Dimir cards to play around with. And we know we've got an Aquifer later down the line if nobody picks it. So, blue-black is kind of looking good. Whenever a creature enters the battlefield under your control, Griffin Protector gets +1/+1. We got the Academy Wall. So whenever you cast an instant or sorcery, you may draw a card. If you do, discard only once each turn. It's a decent blocker, but so is this, and this scries and attacks. I'm probably not going to touch the domain cards too much. Although something like Shadow Prophecy is just like a Sign in Blood kind of thing, and I could maybe get a 3rd splash color just to make sure that it looks at 3 cards. I had some of these in my Esper Control deck. I might take that as a possibility. Alright. So, no mana fixing that would work for us. Return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. You gain 2 life. If it was kicked, return another permanent. So I'd need to splash green for that. This cares about defenders. That's not likely to be the case for us. I think I might just take the Cavalier. Just keep the possibility of being Esper open, I guess. Although, actually, there's the Sleeper here, which has a black splash for the kicker. Something I have definitely noticed in this format is some of the kicker cards are just good on their own. So, for example, we've got the Geyser here, which is just a 3-mana bounce spell that draws a card. But if you have the added kicker of 1 white, you get to gain 3 life. The 3 life is like the least important part about that card. So it can still be pretty good. So it's important when you evaluate the kicker cards to make sure that the actual good part of the spell is not the kicker, if you can't use the kicker mana. So this could just be a 2-mana 3-1, which is just acceptable. 2-mana 2-2, yeah, just get a creature in here. Ooh, we got Voldaren, Vodalian Desecrator. So it's a looter that drains, and it's also sack later down the line to get a instant or sorcery from your graveyard. Okay. Sorcery speed. Oh, there is a Blown Splinters as well. I don't think we're going to see that one coming back, but maybe. Yeah, so I want to be like blue-black with a splash of white. That's going to be the focus. If I can splash white, then Shadow Prophecy gets better, and the Sleeper becomes playable. And then we also get the Geyser as well. So our mana base is just going to be islands and swamps with maybe the black-white or the blue-white dual lands if we can find any. But it's not going to be like high up on my priority list because we're not really relying on it right now. Like the only card that we can't actually cast is going to be the Sleeper, which I can just easily cut and find replacements for sure. We got an Urtai Scorn. We got the Aquifer. I think I'll take the Aquifer over the counter spell. I don't really value counters all that much in this format. Like, I played a control deck with one of them in the deck, and it very rarely came up. It was actually the conditional counter spell that makes a... Oh yeah, let's take the card draw with discard attached to it. So again, this is a divination, but if you pay 2 mana with black splashes, you get to make your opponent discard a card. So it's practically a 5-mana draw 3 at that point. But yeah, I don't really value the counterspells that much because I had a conditional counterspell that was kicker, create a token, and then counter equal to the number of creatures you control, which had some value. By the way, I apologize, children. Am I right? I guess I'm taking that turtle. I was actually wondering about the domain card, actually, and whether or not I take that. I don't think I'm playing this card. I think it gets cut pretty quickly. But you never know. You never know. It's 2/5. It's going to actually kill a lot of stuff and block most other things. So it's not incapable of being played. But it's not high up on the list. I mean, I'm just looking at this Defiler of Dreams, and it's not even a May ability for that blue permanent spell, so we got a little bit to worry about. You know, I could get myself milled out if I have too many blue cards. Alright, we'll take the white card, just because it could be playable. It's almost certainly 95% chance not getting played, but you never know. Alright, we got Timeless Lotus. Interesting. I'm going to take it because I am rare drafting. But there is also Rona here. Rona very much impressed me when I played her in my draft. There's also you, and these Splatter Goblins were very good. There's a removal spell here. There's Tribute to Urborg, which was very good, but there's a Mythic here, so I'm going to take it. I don't think I'm playing it, because we're not really ramping into anything impressive. Like, this is probably for the domain decks, if anything. But, yeah. You can build 5-color domain, I guess, if you wanted to. I think you've really got to evaluate how much you want those extra splash colors in your mana base. Alright, so in this one, we've got a Warhorse, which is good, a Splatter Goblin, which is good, Apparition, 4 mana, 2/2, never seen this one before. Pay 2 mana, get +1/+1, that's fine. It's not too bad. I think I'd take the Warhorse over that, but for now, I'm just going to take the rare, because I am rare drafting scum. Tribute to Urborg. Alright, we do need some removal, so that one's pretty good. That's a -2/-2. And then if you pay the kicker for the blue, which we're not splashing, we are actually a blue-black deck, then we get a extra -1/-1 for each instant or sorcery in a graveyard, which hopefully is something that we're going to be working on. Alright. Again, I mean, these packs just look great for blue-black, so I am not upset about rare drafting every single card that comes by. Remember, if I'm rare drafting, it's because I've got packs that are unopened right now in my collection. So every single rare that I open here is a rare that I'm not going to open when I go to open those packs. So I just need less packs to complete my collection, which is the whole kind of point of rare drafting in this format. Normally, like, if you were in paper, you'd only really rare draft the cards that you were going to play. Like, I would probably never, in my wildest dreams, rare draft this in paper. I'd probably go after some of the cards that were actually good in that pack, which there were plenty. I mean, I need this Tarmogoyf right here. And again, we've got 5 cards that I would happily play here. And maybe a Meteorite on top of that. So, something from that pack's coming back. It's up to my draft friends over here to let me know which ones I get to keep. Alright, so we've got the Necromass, which is a 7 mana 5/5 with a cost reduction for each creature. But I don't have that many creatures right now, which is unfortunate. I kind of want to just take Impulse, but maybe Haunting Figment is also good. Yeah, maybe I'll take some creatures. Okay, we got the Rona's Vortex, another removal spell. There is also Essence Scatter. That one I do value as a reasonable counter spell for sure, because, you know, it is a creature format. It is all about playing to the board in this set. Alright, so we got the Warhorse, we got some protection, and we've got -1/-0 until the end of the turn, draw a card. So that's terrible if we can't really kick it. But I think it's terrible if you could kick it as well, so we're just not going to take it. Ends the battlefield. If it was kicked, make a soldier. Alright, now we've got some tough decisions to make. We have this one, which we can return if a non-skeleton died under our control. We got removal, or we've got a creature that is also a bit of a roadblock removal. That is difficult. I mean, the game is telling me to take Tribute. Not entirely sure if that's the correct one to take, but, you know, it was between Splatter Goblin and Tribute, and Splatter Goblin turned up. Love this guy. He's great. Alright, I get to read this card now. Look at the top X cards of your library, where X is the number of basic land types. You may put one of those into top of your library, put the rest on the bottom of the library. Sure, take that. I, again, probably won't take that unless I can splash a 3rd colour. So let me just take the unblockable 2/1 with Vigilance. And maybe I'll take the wall. Ooh, we got the Divination. Alright. So I got Sulphurous Springs, rare. Very nice. In this pack, we've got Impulse, Tolarian Terror, and Extinguish the Light. And Combat Research. Could put Combat Research on Haunting Figment, which might actually be pretty cool. Cast Kick Spells. Do have mana fixing here a little bit. It's not domain fixing, so it's less impressive. I'm a little bit low on removal, so I am tempted to just take the Bone Splinters here. Could also work very well with the Splatter Goblin, getting that -1/-1. Ooh, so we do have a splash color, but it is not an on-color splash. We also have another aquifer. Got the Cult Conscript, which can keep coming back and being annoying. That's a tough one. Do I take the aquifer or do I take the Conscript? I think I am probably just going to keep taking little threats here. Take little threats and then just take removal whenever I see it. Sack a creature, gain life, and draw a card. Ooh, that could go very well with the Conscript, right? If I pay 3, sacrifice it, I can bring it back for 2. Or bring something else back, I suppose. That could be alright. It's a 2/4 defender. It's just going to slow my opponent down a little bit. No, there is also a Phyrexian Rager, but we picked a few of them, so... Oh, no, we haven't. We've only picked one. I thought we picked more. Again, we've got a splash color here. Loses X life, where X is the number of defenders you control. We've had a few defenders so far. I don't think we got enough defenders, really. I think you want like 6 or 7 before Defender Tribal's a thing. But you know what? Let's start taking some defenders. There's a Sunlit Marsh here. I actually need that. Yeah, I need the Sunlit Marsh over the Defender. There's another Defender, though. Yeah, maybe my game plan is just, like, defend, defend, defend. And then we get out our Blight Pile and work our way through there. Another Rona's Vortex. Very nice. Tolarian Terror is probably the pick here. I can enable that one quite well. That one's cost reduced equal to the number of instants and sorceries in our graveyard. We've got a fair few of them now. And it's a 5/5 with Ward 2. Yeah, I kind of feel like if we can get down like Defiler and then just keep bouncing our opponent's stuff and redrawing and playing defenders, we're going to be in a happy spot. Definitely not playing Tidepool Turtle. There was an opportunity when we got that turtle to actually pick a defender instead. I'm sort of wishing I had. This Voda Sea Scavenger now looks at 3 cards, which is certainly a thing. I think I'm taking the Grotto just as the white splash to strengthen that up a little bit. Doesn't add to the domain, but it does allow us to kick a little bit more. And I'm probably not playing this sleeper, honestly. I think I want to be able to play all of my cards, even in their weaker forms. That being said, we got the Cavalier. Yeah, I might just take the Toxic Abomination. It's not that great, but you know, it's castable. And it's got big power for big blocks. So if our opponent has a X3 that would hit us for more than 2 damage, then it's sort of worth it. Give me the Mana Fixer. You're not too impressed by this card. I don't know how I feel about this deck right now. It's got some good things in it, but it's also got some pretty bad things. So I'm going to have to weed those out during the deck building portion. I've got quite a few things to cut at 33. Ooh, another Blight Pile. Alright, we might have actually managed to clinch the defender count just a little bit. And we got a fair few rares. How many did we get? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We got 6 rares and mythics. Something like that. Yeah, looks like it. 6 rares and mythics. Not too bad. Right, okay, so the mana base has kind of got the right idea. We've just got the 1 plains here. We probably don't really even need that too much, but I think I do want a little bit. I think I'm cutting the sleeper. I think we're just getting rid of that plains altogether. And then basically the only reason we've got the reason to splash is now for domain which isn't looking too good. I'll take Shadow Prophecy as just a draw 2, but then we also have draw 2 over here, so I'm going to cut at least one of those. Maybe I'll cut the other one as well, because this is just a better... I'd rather draw 2 with the potential to make our opponent discard than draw 2 to lose 2. So that's definitely a consideration. How many defenders did we get? Give it a minute. Oh, we also got the Chaplain. Oh, we could bring that back in now. That's probably worth a little white splash. Yeah, this dude right here. 4 mana, 0/3 defender. When it enters the battlefield, you create a 1/1 bird creature token with flying for each creature with defender, and then whenever another creature with defender enters the battlefield, you create a bird token as well. So you get a lot of flyers out of that potentially. But yeah, how many defenders did we end up getting? Defend. We got 3, 5, 6, 7. So hitting the count quite nicely there, and we also hit the payoff count as well, which is Blight Pile is our reason. Well, Blight Pile and the Chaplain is our reasons to have defenders in our deck. So we do want to take that in mind when we're maybe taking blocks, that we want to keep as many defenders in play as possible, because our opponent can lose up to 7 life per turn for each activation of the Blight Pile, which is pretty dope. So probably going to try and not cut those cards if we can help it. We got 47 cards. So I don't think we need that much fixing. So I don't think the salvaged mana worker, or whatever it's called, is necessary. This Terror is not 7 mana. It's going to be something else. It's probably going to be like down here, maybe. Could even be cheaper with the Defiler. We're going to be drawing off of our blue spells as well, so we might want to consider not cutting as many blue spells. I think I will get rid of that other Shadow Prophecy. We got the Vivisector. Whenever a creature you control dies, draw scry one. I think I'll cut that one. Other than like a one of Blown Splinters, we're not really dealing with our creatures dying here. That's more of a white-black kind of deck, I think, is more focused on sacrifice. Case in point, this Warhorse with its white kicker is an Orzhov card, and it's got sacrifice written all over it. Is it even that good? That's the thing. When it enters the battlefield, if it was kicked, create the Soldier. Otherwise, it's just a 4-mana 3/3 with sacrifice. See, I'm thinking get rid of Bone Splinters, get rid of Warhorse. Get rid of the Abomination. I mean, how many creatures have I got left? 16 creatures? It's still pretty good. And then I've just got either a 41 card special, or I could... so, do I actually want this? It's a 3-mana 3/2. Enters the battlefield. Look at the top, best case scenario, 3 cards of my library, where 3 is the number of basic land types. You may put one of those cards on top. The rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. I don't think I want that. And that's the deck. Alright, so we're going to be trying to do... It's more of a blue-black tempo list, really, isn't it? With a lot of roadblocks, a lot of big things to stop our opponent attacking through. Fortunately, a lot of our defenders do have power. Or a few of our defenders have power, should I say. We have ways of killing, for sure. So, I kind of like the look of this deck. I think it might get to a situation where our opponent can go around our defenders and then we're in trouble. Also, have I got a reason, really, to splash white anymore? That I need to figure out. I think I have, like... Yeah, just Geyser to gain the life. So I think I don't need... the planes. Actually, no, I've still got the Chaplain. I'm still playing for that. And I think 3 mana sources for a single card in our deck is fine, considering we've got plenty of ways to draw cards. It's probably fine. Yeah, we can dig pretty deep through our deck to find those 3 planes just to play the Chaplain, which is a late game card anyway. It's going to come down as late as possible, presumably. I would like it to be like the last defender we play, so you never know. Either way, that's going to do it for the deck tech portion of the video. If you do enjoy, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe. And without further ado, let's get to the draft portion, or the gameplay portion, should I say. Let's do it. This video is brought to you by the generous support of our wonderful patrons and channel members that you see here. If you'd like to support the channel and get access to cool content like sneak peeks, bonus videos, polls on future content, or access to a personal deck critique from myself every month, then hit the join button down below, or check out the Patreon link in the description. With all that said, let's get into the gameplay. Alrighty then, we're in on the play, and we have a curve with our planes, so we have our kicker count. Cast all of our spells with this hand. I think I like this one. We can play this on 2 and then Espionage on 3 if we want to have some unblockable 2-1 damage. Yeah, not too bad, not too bad. So I have a little bit of a concern that this deck is going to be quite weak. But we can only figure that out by playing the deck and seeing how we do. Tribute to Urborg, having a removal spell is quite nice. Alright, so I'm going to save my Espionage to get the Figment unblockable. And instead go for the Phyrexian Rager here, adding to the board. Rona's Vortex, very nice. So that's now just a solid removal spell. Our opponent going for what appears to be a domain deck, or maybe they just drafted all the rares and wanted to play them. So if I wanted to remove the Blight Pile, I'd have to go for the Rona's Vortex here. I could also just choose to Espionage and get in with the Figment. I think I want a Vortex, to be honest. Allows me to hit for 4. Next turn I can kick the Espionage and get full value out of it. And I'm also boosting up the Tribute to Urborg now, which is going to be a -3/-3 removal spell. Which is super useful. So I'm just going to hold open my Tribute, just in case they've got a flash spell. There is a white flash 2/3 flyer, I think. Okay, going to go for Shadow Prophecy. So look at the top 3. Oh, top 4. Yeah, top 4, isn't it? Oh, no, top 5, sorry. I can't math. Alright, and then we're going to go Grotto. I'll bottom the Defender. We're looking to close out this game. I think if we're looking to close out this game, let's draw cards. Tolarian Geyser, fantastic. Tribute to Urborg, fantastic. It's going to make our Figment completely unblockable for the rest of the game. Wasn't expecting to get any good value out of the discard, but it's there. It's value. So I might as well take it. Soaring Drake and a Brawler. Alright. So, ideally I want to clear this board. I could just kill the Brawler with the Tribute to Urborg. Then it doesn't let me play anything else. I could also Geyser, bouncing the Brawler. Still just allow me to get in with the Figment. I don't have to pay the Kicker, so I can play Academy Wall or the Barricade. I think I'm totally happy with that. So let's just bounce the big boy. Get in for my 2 unblockable. And then let's go with the Academy Wall over the Barricade, because the Urborg will allow me to filter out one of these lands, which we've drawn far too many at this point. Meteorite hits my Figment. Okay. That's pretty good for them. Does make me wonder about using this Tribute, because I know that there's a 5/3 trample hanging around. But I also want to close out this game, so let's kill this Soaring Drake, draw my card, yeah. Draw an island, discard an island. And then we'll go Barricade. Could turn some of these defenders into threats removal spells or any of that sort of thing. We've got 4 more points to push through here, so we are getting quite close. But we're going to need the look at the top deck, and look at that top deck. Alright, Barricade could sack itself. I'm inclined not to do that. I think I'm just going to get rid of Academy Wall, then the Barricade. I think we're too close to, yeah, closing this game out to do something like that. Alright. Pass the turn. I don't think this 5-3 is attacking through. We've just got too much to go on here. If the mana value is 3 or less, draw a card. Gain 3. We don't want them gaining 3, so sack in response. There we go. That's a beauty right there. Alright, that's going to make the Flood potentially quite good for us. Because not only can we swing for lethal over the top here, but we can also make use of the extra mana to draw some extra cards if our opponent doesn't have extra removal open up. And look out. Alright, that does stop me from just winning the game. And it dies. Look at the top 2 and put 1 into your hand. Okay, Splatter Goblin can kill. So do I want to play the Goblin here? I definitely want to swing. Offer a trade, because the only thing that can actually trade here is the Lookout, which opens them up to lethal in the air. So I think, yeah, we're definitely just getting a Vine Wall block here. And I've got to ask myself, do I want to play the Goblin and prevent myself from being able to sack in response to a removal spell? I think I can take the chance here, just to stop the Brawler from attacking through. Domain, Rada, and Relic. Alright. Looks like we took a risk and it paid off. We can also sack the Goblin just so that the Lookout is not a profitable block against the Defiler. Definitely just take the 5 here. Alright, let's see what we can draw. A Conscript. So, let's play the Conscript. I think I'm sacking it. Just to see if we can find a removal spell to just win outright here. If I find a Tribute to Urborg or Rona's Vortex, then the game is just over. There we go. Beautiful. Yeah. Could have actually, I think, paid the Phyrexian mana on that. Just to cheapen it up, but didn't really need to. Alright, that was actually pretty reasonable showing for the deck. I don't imagine our opponent's deck is particularly strong in terms of, like, you wouldn't see this in Mythic. But you know what? We're in Bronze, so it doesn't really matter if you'd see it in Mythic. We're in Bronze. Well, now we're in Silver, actually, so we're moving up in the world. Got to remember as well, some people, if they're like me, they only draft every 3 months, so like the random seasonal change is just going to always bring you back down to Bronze. So, you know, there's still good players in Bronze. It's not like I'm just like smurfing on this account or anything like that. There's people who draft in paper that don't draft on Arena all that much. They're probably like really good. They'd be stuck in Bronze. So, you know, don't discount someone because they've got a nice brown emblem. So either way, let's go on to the next game. We are 1-0. Okay, we're on the draw. We've got the Haunting Figment into Espionage. Our mana base obviously sucks. But we've got 3 playables out of 4. And one of those playables is probably going to draw us into the black if we don't just top deck it. So, I'm reasonably happy to keep this hand. It's not a super fast format from my experience, so like you're not just like dead if you don't have an impressive board state on turn 3. You can afford to just take a bad hand that'll work itself out later, and this one's certainly set up to do that. Looks like we're playing against another domain deck. Bog a Badger. If it was kicked, creatures gain menace. That's a bit spooky. Alright, well, I'm just going to go with the Espionage here. We were looking for a black source. We did not find it. I would also accept a white source now, as long as it is untapped. Definitely not blocking the 3/3. Yeah, really just want a black source here. Otherwise, it looks like we're just going to go with the Haunting Figment. And then bounce the Rulik Mons, which cost them 4 mana to play it. So send that right back. Keep doing that for a little while. If we could just keep taxing their mana and hitting them for 4, like we are sort of winning that race. I wouldn't bet my entire game on that being the case forever, but you know, our opponents spent all their mana, we're gonna unspend it for them. Another island. Okay, well, we might be able to play Defiler soon. Alright, let's unspend their mana. Hit them for 4. Down to 12. It's 3 turns if we can keep this up. But we've only got 1 guaranteed turn's worth of value left. Really need a black source or a white source. Alright. Let's see if they attack. If they attack, I can end step the Vortex. Take the 3. Because I think I'd rather just play any of these cards over the Vortex with Kicker if we get the option to. Alright, we got the tap land, which does allow me to play the Defiler, which is now a 2-turn clock. None of these things have reach, so I don't have to concern myself about that. But we might start having to do some blocks now. That has reach. Is this one of those that blocks a flyer? It gets, yeah, it's a 3/3 with the flying. That's really bad for me. Alright. I mean, now we've started getting lands. It's certainly a thing, but is it a good thing? I think I'm just going to play the Barricade, the Blight Pile, and start turtling up here. I'd love to get rid of this Snare Spinner, but I don't think it's really going to matter because they've got this massive worm. 5/4 Vigilant Trample. Any instant or sorcery allows me just to hit them for 4. The Raven Man, okay. Can make me discard some of the cards that I can't play here. I don't think Deviler's Phyrexian mana ability is really going to come into effect here. I don't think I can really afford to make that kind of play. But maybe the redraw effect might be quite good. I'd certainly double block the worm with my defenders, I think, given the chance. Alright, goodbye, unplayable white card. I'm happy that's the best thing they can do. I think it makes a bird token, right? Black bird, yeah. With this creature can't block. Alright, so it's less of a concern. Potentially getting a blowout from a removal spell here, but we're going to go for it. I'm just looking to soak up damage anyway. Alright. Big boy down. And a Stalker. Alright, blue spells. There we go. That's what we're talking about. Do I want to pay 2 for this? I think I can pay full price. And by full price, I mean the full discounted price for Tolarian Terror. This one... I could pay the Phyrexian mana on this, so it's only 2 mana. I could potentially draw something extra doing that. Oh, am I not allowed to do that? Oh, it's blue permanence, isn't it? Yeah. So actually... Now, this would trade with the Snare Spinner. We don't really need that or want that. So let's just hit them for 4. Geyser is my path to victory now. So if they can't just kill me outright, which is definitely possible... just get rid of the Geyser, I guess. I think I've got Urborg X6 now, so... That's just game if they can't force me to block with my Figments, which I don't know if they can. So we just put this on absolutely anything. We're going to go with the Snare Spinner because it allows my Defiler of Dreams to attack through with unblockable aggression. And that's game. Dead in 2 different ways. Opponent's tapped out with no life gain in sight. Woo! I didn't think we were winning that one. I figured we were going to do our Rona's Vortex several times and then find out that our opponent just played a 10-10 for 5 and then just lose the game. It's kind of where I thought we were going with this, but yeah, our opponent's cards just a little bit too taxing on their mana. Just allowed me to tempo them out with our Haunting Figment. I'm liking this card. It dies to everything, but when it's left alone, it can just chip away at your opponent, which is kind of what we want to do. We want to play something down and then answer theirs while we chip them away, kind of like Mono Blue Tempo would. And, I mean, so far it's going well. We are 2-0. Moving on to the next game. Okay, we go first. We got best card in our deck. Debatably, I suppose, but still pretty good. 2-drop, 3-drop, or 3-drop. I'm going to take it. Our mana's here. I'm happy. So, what are we playing against? We've had 2 domain decks in a row, but now we got a Cult Conscript. Alright. Not something I'm really that interested in killing. I can block it next turn, so... I'd much rather block it than kill it. Opponent hits us for 2. So they might be a black-white sacrifice deck if they're committed to their colours. Splatter Goblin, okay. Yeah, let's just put a barricade down. This will be a removal check. It's either they're going to remove it now or we'll see them attack into the barricade, which will indicate that they've got either some sort of pump spell or some Urborgy kind of deck. Yeah, I mean, I think adding to the board like that says plenty. Rona's Vortex, another removal spell. Would I rather have 5 mana? I think I would. So I could Espionage with Vortex open. Or I could just play something like Splatter Goblin with Urborg open. I think I like that. Oh wait, that doesn't work because this is a colourless land. Yeah. I hate these filter lands. They're always tripping me up. Making me think that they're good. It's only in here because it's necessary. So Vortex is only an opponent controls. Or you don't control, I guess, more specifically. So I can't save my own creatures with a Vortex. But if our opponent has some sort of pump spell or they go all in with the Cavalier enlisting... Okay, so you got an Anthem, maybe? So I'm actually just going to block the Conscript here, because if I block the Soldier token, then they can pay the mana to bring the Conscript back. So I'm just going to kill the Conscript. And they did have the Tribute to Urborg, so I'm just going to go... Whoops, back to hand, waste your removal. Waste my removal, I suppose, as well. So nothing really comes of that. If that's the best way they've got to push through my barricade, then I'm pretty happy with that. Alright, they got a cut down. Sure. Now I've got a Defiler of Dreams. Very, very happy with that. Do I want to attack him with my Splatter Goblin? I think not. I think if they want to get him with the Cavalier with its Enlist, it's going to be a 3-3 that dies to the Goblin. Ooh, they have the Lightning Strike. Okay. Yeah, I mean, either way, I'm killing something with Splatter Goblin if they get in with the good stuff. Pull Conscript. Alright, it is time to... Phyrexian Espionage. That's a good pickup. Make them discard one of those 3. It's going to be a Carvu. Okay. Pass the turn. Got a pretty good looking hand right now, to be honest. I'm happy to just take 1. So if their entire turn is just replay Conscript due to losing the Soldier, I think I'm happy with that, considering my follow-up. I'll just take that off the table. Makes their Enlist a little worse. Makes their turn just kind of meh. So there's Baird. And then returns. Okay. So Baird is a beginning or end step if you control a creature with power greater than its base power, create a soldier. So if you enlist, I think that counts. So they would be able to attack me for 6 if they wanted to. If I don't hold up and tribute to Urborg. So I think I just want to play the Blight Pile and pass. And just tribute if they go for the enlist. Okay. Still think I go for it. Might as well just spend all my mana. So let's get rid of Baird. Don't want them having that added value. Haunting Figment. So I get to go Tolarian Terror and Blight Pile. This should provide a pretty good roadblock. They can enlist up to 4 power, which is not enough. And they know it. As well play this bad boy right here. And I'm getting him for 5. If they have a combat trick, I can counter it. And if they don't attack me, I get to ping them for 1 with the Blight Pile, assuming I don't want to use the Tribute either. Ooh. That just wants to die. It's kind of got an Aurelia thing. I don't need to read it. Although I guess I'll hover it up for you guys. There you go. It does nasty things, let's put it that way. It is a must-kill threat. Okay, down to 13. I could have gotten him with a Haunted Figment, but I know my deck well enough to know that this is quite likely to be unblockable and make it an unnecessary attack. Just to trade with the Conscript. If it's kicked, create some soldiers. And it has haste. Okay. Oh, the tokens have haste as well. That's pretty strong. And they're just passing. Alright. Ping you. Not a good draw, I'll admit. I'm just going to hold them. I think we're past the point of attacking him with the Terror now. Oof. And they've got the ward to pay for, the binding here. Yeah. This is now the point where this is getting worse and worse for me. I think I'm starting to be very close to losing. If these two draws were good, then we'd be having a little bit of a different discussion, I think. Okay, ping you. Another blight pile. Okay. That, at the very least, ups my ping count. It also blocks quite well. Okay, lots of soldiers. Very afraid of an Anthem effect now. Sure. But thankfully, a lot of their creatures are 2/2s here. I'm just going to take the 3 for now. I think I can afford to. Not for long, though, of course. I do need to actually draw some good cards. And out. Guess I'll draw lands. Alright, well, Rage is a good blocker for the strike team. Blight piles are good blockers for everyone else. Alright. I think it's worth for them to consider if attacking me directly now is worth their time. I can definitely play the conscript. And pass. I'm dealing 4, then another 4. So they really do need to start killing me, because they're going to die otherwise. That'll probably just kill them. Good game. I think it might be. Just gonna... let's bounce the conscript, I guess. Haunting Figment. Pass the turn. I think the life gain will do it, because I get 1 ping here, and then I get 2 pings for the win. Defender Tribal. Coming through. 3-0. Wow, we've won in a few different ways now. Our actual defender plan finally came into fruition. Very nice. Yeah, that's the power of defenders, I guess. As I mentioned during the build portion, like having defenders that can actually like profitably block. There's a lot of 2x's in this format. I mean, you can tell by the design of Cut Down that they want to make sure that this is a reality quite a lot of the time. Imagine this is supposed to be a good card by Wizards' design standpoint, and then just like the brutally good cards are out of that range. But yeah, just like the little uncommons here and there all die to Cut Down. So kind of keeping that in mind, you know, that something like Blight Pile that's capable of, you know, dodging Cut Down, but also killing things that would be in Cut Down range is an interesting way to evaluate the cards. I don't know whether it's correct or not, but from what I've noticed, there's a lot of things that Cut Down dies to here, so you can kind of expect that 3 power, 2 power, those things are going to be more relevant in this format than anything else. So, yeah, I mean, 3-0. Let's keep going. Okie dokie. We're in on the play, and we've got technically perfect mana. We've got several playables as well, so we're definitely keeping this hand. No turn 1 that really matters. I don't think I'm really going to Vortex a 1-drop. You might see me Vortex something later, though. Definitely get our Haunting Figment down. If they don't play anything on turn 2, then start getting the beat down going. Good stuff. Alright, so hit them for 2. Play the land, scry. I think I want a land. I want a 2-card turn, I think. Although Tribute to Urborg is definitely quite good. I want to be able to just like kick the first one, I think. It's hard to say. They're an Izzet deck, so they've probably got a lot of low toughness creatures. Let's bottom it. Let's work towards this Defiler. I think the earlier that we get that, the better. And then we're going to play the Blight Pile. More mana means more Blight Piling as well, so that's also pretty good. Alright, so they are Grixis. Good to know. It's a Phyrexian Rager. Alright, I would like to Blight Pile that. Not Blight Pile it. What am I talking about? Tribute it. Rather than bounce it. Yeah, we got another bounce spell, so it's pretty good. Alright, so just gonna get rid of the blocker, get in for 2, pass the turn. Might use one of these as just an unsummon, depending on ETB value maybe, or if it's like a must-kill threat, then I think I'd rather wait for the kicker to potentially get it out of play for good. Okay. Now, return a creature from your graveyard to your hand, and then it's going to may sacrifice a non-land, non-token permanent. If they don't, they lose 2 life and you draw a card. Yeah, I'm not too fussed about that. Alright, give me... there's either Blight Pile with the Unsummon, but they're probably just going to play Phyrexian Rager, or it's Academy Wall that makes the Vortexes better. I think I'll just take the draw and discard option, thank you. Alright, am I going to do anything? No. Have an extra card. There are 9 cards here. And if they play that Rager, well, they're going to lose value. They need to play something that doesn't replace itself here. Which means Rona's Vortex is probably going to look pretty good even as an unsummon. So I want to make my land drop. That is important to me. So we're going to bounce. It's going to trigger the wall. Skip our land drop, unfortunately. Let's get rid of... That's a tough one. Tolarian Terror is very good, but we are building up a very solid defender game plan here. I don't really want to get in the way of that. Maybe I'll get rid of Defiler for that reason and play a Blight Pile. So now these are activating to drain for 3, and our opponent's at 11, which is definitely relevant. I could do 3 plus an unsummon. There's a Rager. Okay, going back up to 7 cards. Got our land drop. So I could play the Barricade, or I could activate to drain for 3 plus a bounce. I think I'll take the bounce and the drain. So goodbye, Vivisector. Let's draw. Ooh. Yeah, we're going full defender plan. Goodbye, Tolarian Terror. So I get to hit our opponent. And I could go for the Barricade, which would allow me to get 4 birds. Or 5 birds when we draw a thing, but I think I'd just rather drain here. I think take the guaranteed damage here over the flashy Chaplain move. Love having Blight Pile as a 2-of. This really solidifies that we're going to be dealing that damage and our opponent has to respect it. I mean, we're at 18 and they're not even remotely close to killing us. They need a sweeper here. I think the best sweeper they've got is probably like 2 damage to everything kind of card, which won't work too well against our defender plan. I think there's a -2/-2, and then there's a red Saga that also deals damage equal to... yeah, sure. It's fine. So, take 3. I'll block with the Academy Wall if they attack with the Rager. I'm not going to open myself up to pump spells, burn spells, anything of that sort. If we draw a Rona's Vortex, I think we've got lethal next turn. Okay, ping you. Tolarian Geyser. Does not do enough for me, so let's just pass the turn. We've got a 2-turn clock already established on board anyway. This is sorcery, so it's not that great, but it's still pretty strong for later. If I need to like ping our opponent here and then get him with a Figment, this will make it unblockable. Twinferno. Alright, gonna double up on something. Could be a... Okay. Well, in response. And that's lethal for us, right? If that's their entire turn, then the Figment is going to kill them. Figment lethal! You know what? Just because we can. Kick it! Sweet! Up and up we go. Are we 4-0 now? I need to double check. We haven't lost, have we? So we've done 4 games, I'm pretty sure. We haven't gone back to the menu screen. Let's have a look. Yeah, 4-0. So this draft is effectively free. It costs 1,500 gems to join a draft of the Premier variety. So that's 1,400 plus the 3 packs plus everything we've drafted. I mean, it's not going infinite, but I would say getting 3 wins is like getting your values worth as well. So as long as you can go like 3 and 3, I think it's worth doing some rare drafting. But yeah, we're now basically on this was free territory. Not that it wasn't free anyway, because I did have some draft tokens left over, but you kind of get the point. Anything else after this, though, is pure profit. So if I lost the next 3 times, I'd be happy with that. As long as, you know, it wasn't just like an unfair mana flood, drew 7 lands in a row and just lost kind of thing. You know, then I'll be a little more upset. Because I do want to play the game. So, you know, let's jump into the next one, see if we get mana flooded. Let's go. Alrighty then, we play first. This hand is close to being excellent. Really makes me consider it a little bit deeper. So, obviously, got no black mana. We got 3 black cards. We do have a Vortex to slow our opponent down. If we drew any land, including an island, we've got a Divination here to potentially draw us into the swamps. And we got plenty of time, I think, to draw. So I'm going to keep this one. I think I'd rather keep this than most 6s. Say hello. Phoenix Chick, not too concerned about that. You can hit me. And, well, it's a 3rd land. We're going to play it just to give our opponent the impression I have white cards that could be played here. Our opponent's on Jeskai. Oh, it could just be blue-red splash white for kickers. Definitely see that being the case as well. So I'm just going to Divination here. We need that black mana. There it is. It's in a tap form, but beggars can't be choosers. Yeah, so if I could draw a 3-drop that could actually be played next turn, that's ideal. Don't really have too much that I'd expect to draw on that 3-drop slot that would be really good here. So Phoenix Chick, for those who don't know, is a 1-mana 1/1 with flying and haste. It cannot block, and whenever you attack with 3 or more creatures, you can pay double red to return it with an additional counter on it, attacking as well. So it's a little bit of an expensive ask, honestly. Especially against our deck, where we're just going to be picking things off left, right, and center. But, you know, early game, solid enough red spell. Who is our opponent? Our opponent appears to have exited the game. Unfortunate for them. I've got money on the line, so I can't really, like, honorably concede here. Oh, they came back. Alright, so they got a Cavalier. Sure. I don't really want to remove a 1/1 with the Runner's Vortex. I don't really want to remove the hasty 1-drop either. Don't want to remove the 3-drop that makes 1/1s. So we are going to pass the turn. So I could go for a kill. If I play any instant or sorcery, I get him for 2 damage. I do want to potentially defend myself a little bit. So I think I'm going to go with the barricade here. It is a free hit if I get rid of the 1/1, but I just don't find that particularly strong. I think I'll keep the barricade open. If they attack him with the Cavalier, then it's going to really like give me a red flag that our opponent's got something in their hand worth the 2 extra points they need to push through. And we can Vortex in response just to kind of fizzle that out if we need to. Depending on their sequencing, could be a proper punish where they just attack straight into my wall and lose their Cavalier. I'd be up for that. So they're actually 4 colour. Again, could just be Is It with some splashes for kickers and domain cards. Yeah, so what they're telling me here is they don't have a good answer to the barricade, or they're disrespecting it. Alright, drawing a lot of lands. Less than ideal, I'll admit. I'm gonna go Blight Pile. And I think I'm... What am I doing here? I think I'm just passing. Our opponent's doing a good job of creating things that I don't really care about. Okay, so a flashy boy. That I do care about. So allow me to do it in the cheapest form. Let's just go for a -2/-2 here. And leave open the Vortex for any potential combat trick nonsense. Again, if they want to push through, they're going to have to provide a card that does it. And they're going to have to heavily telegraph it. What do I want to draw? Runner's Vortex cannot touch that card. Unfortunate. Let's see where they want to go. They're going to go after the Blight Pile with it. I mean, that's fine. It becomes tapped, gain 1, scry 1. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do something soon. And by something I mean draw something that isn't lands. I just don't really care to... I guess I could do the Vortex on the Chick at this point. Because I have to stop hemorrhaging life, and that's my way to do it, I think. So now I can hit for 2 unblockable, and I get to leave open the Barricade's Sacrifice to draw a card if our opponent has some removal, because I can't protect with the Vortex in that fashion. Can sack itself, notably. Looks like they might be going for the Enlist here. Okay. Scries to the top. So it's a 4/2. I think I'd take that. Now that just stops. Citizen's Arrest. Alright, so this is the sack it in response that we were looking for. See, I could have gone for the Rona's Vortex, but then I wouldn't have had the opportunity to do this. Which would have been 1 less card I would have been allowed to have. Okay, we're going to go Conscript. Guess I might as well play the land. I think I will go for the Geyser with Kicker. Just bounce the Herbalist, draw a card. Really just looking for a threat, and we found one. Our opponents used some good removal on some weak creatures. So now that Terra's looking pretty strong. Got another one, though. I don't think I've got an answer to enchantments, so good for them. Wingmantle Chaplain. Does that let me... That lets me hold up and Vortex as a removal spell. So we are going to play that. To get myself a bird token so I can start pinging them the same way they were with me when they had the chick. And now future defenders are also going to make flyers as well. Sack another creature, 1 damage to any target. Alright. So I think I'm just going to take the mana efficient route of dealing with that now. Seeing if they want to get rid of their 1-1 to deal with my 1-1. I think they will. Yeah. That's just too annoying to stick around, I think. It makes my defender top decks just a little bit worse. Because it'll just pick off my birds constantly. So now we've got a Drain 2 and Hit for 1 in the air. Citizen's Arrest on the Blight pile. Okay. Lots of removal for our opponent. I'm just going to offer the trade here. Okay. Hold this as an unknown that our opponent doesn't need to know about. We're just letting this linger a little bit. Let our opponent think it's not a land. Pretty spooky, though, as it currently stands. Your opponent gaining the life that we were dealing with our bird token is less than ideal. I think we're now on blocked strike team with bird token territory. We just solidify the I have a playable in my hand bluff. Yeah, I mean, I think we're now losing. We're officially at that point. So, let's see. Block here. Block here. A non-skeleton died. So we are able to bring back the conscript. Nice free block. Do you have the answer to the chaplain? Or just a follow-up in general? You've got something that's playable, assuming you're not doing the same bluff that I was doing. And just set that bluff right there. You got some big boys in your Boros deck. What are we actually splashing for here? We seem very on colour. Got black splashes, we got blue splashes. I know there's a blue-white token strategy. I think they've got a blue-white kicker card. I don't know what the black one's all about, though. Not too knowledgeable on all the cards in the format just yet. So some of them will still come up as a bit of a mystery to me, but... Alright, so it's just a random enlist, destroy an artifact, sure. Alright, not a great draw, I'll be honest. But, gotta play him. Does at least block the Steel Crusher, we can maybe absorb some damage. I kind of think maybe just do this and then bring back the conscript. Gotta hope that this is gonna work out for us. And remember when I mentioned flooding? We've arrived. We've arrived at the station. But I'm the only passenger. This is too many lands. Block. Chump. Not entirely sure what I'm drawing to anymore. Anything that could just kill the monstrosity is fine though, I suppose. Alright, so we've got a double block. A double block with Conscript returning. I need my bluff again. Yeah, the problem is they've got, and that's their reason to splash extra colours right there. So now I've got a double block that is forced, and I'm actually just dead to the trample. Exacxes. Imagine if Blightpile gained some life and came down earlier. That would be lovely, wouldn't it? Yeah, that's that. Bluffing can only get you so far. Alright, so talks about flooding. Floods. Gotcha. We're going to draw really well next game, and we're not going to lose. Alright? If this game was anything to go by, my words matter, apparently. On to the next one. Alrighty then, we're in on the play. First time seeing Vohar, and this hand is super playable, so we're just going to keep the crap out of this one. Alright, start with the swamp, and our opponent is on what? Islands of their own, eh? And they got the Illusionist. So this thing can turn lands into a basic land type. Okay. I don't really care to do anything about that, I don't think. Just gonna play my Vohar. A Vohar. Or is the H silent, so it's Voh, like that. Alright, that's the swamp now. And the Raven Man. Okay. How much you want to bet that they really need that Illusionist in order to do their thing? I kinda want to make that bet. Kill Illusionist. Send that potentially unplayable Raven Man back to hand. And yeah, swing for one. That might be a little bit greedy of me. Yep, it's very greedy of me. Raven Man's back. Okay. Give me Espionage first, in case I draw one of my tap lands. Then I guess I could... I want to make sure I've got Defiler of Dreams open eventually. It kind of means that I want to keep that Figment in hand as well. I'm just going to play the Swamp and say go. Alright. So my mana screwing play didn't work out. Is what it is, I suppose. I might block if they attacked in. I'm certainly going to go with Vohar here, though. Yeah, let's get rid of a Blightpile. Tribute to Urborg. Alright. Let's get Defiler down. And pass. I want to be looting because we do have Tolarian Terror in our deck, so all the instants and sorceries we can get in there early will make a Terror later down the line dirt cheap. Alright, our opponent is basically tapped out. Also just random drains. Could be pretty good. Phyrexian Rager. I would rather have Blightpile than Rager at this point, I think. Alright, so give me Phyrexian Figment. Draw a card. Ooh. I think we're gonna tribute the Lookout. Oh, this has Death Touch for 1 black. Interesting. That is interesting. Let's see if I can get another card. Crystal Grotto. Did I play a land this turn? Did not. Alright, let's get rid of Geyser. Grotto can help me cast the Chaplain. And also Scry, I'm looking for blue permanents. Could be greedy, but I want to kind of get Chaplain down. Is that greedy? No, it's definitely not greedy. No. That wouldn't be greedy. Come on now. There's nothing greedy about a 0-3 that makes a bird when I could be killing things. Oh. Ravenman doesn't actually care about them being the one who's making me discard. Okay, that's just made me value that card a little bit more. Definitely not going to be blocking here. It's trampling for a turn. Rude. Alright, well, we had a game plan. Our game plan kind of died off a little bit. Oh, let me loot with Vohar first. Get that conscript in the graveyard. And then kill the Raven Man. Nobody likes birds. Macaw, my dude. Right. Do this, make a bird. Do this. Make a bigger board state. Attack with my unblockable creature. And see how we do from here. So I can use these birds as just like easy chump blockers to get my conscript back as well. I'm certainly not going to be blocking Talus Lookout with them. Alright, that's actually a pretty good hit. So what I can do is I can get rid of the Lookout. That makes my Figments unblockable. If they block with Counterspell, okay. Well, my Figments are still unblockable. I don't think I want to do Vohar. Let's just do this. If they block with the Battlefly Swarm, I get my conscript back. I guess I could have held back one bird as well, though, because then that would have also got my conscript back. Yeah, that might be worthwhile. We're kind of closing in on just like Blightpile winning the game, though, so... Divination. They're going to have to respect a defender soon. So we just want to keep hitting instants and sorceries. Alright, that's a big boy. Big chumping boy. Splatter Goblin. So I can get in for 4 just by sacking my Vohar to maybe Espionage. You cast the instant or sorcery graveyard, blah, 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 blah. Activate all these as sorcery. Yeah, I kind of like the idea of going for a Divination. Could be a bit greedy, considering they've got a 4/6 there, but... I think this might end up just setting up the victory for me. So just hit him for 4. And then... let's get back the conscript. So I've got a Drain 2. So if I get an instant or sorcery, I win the game, presuming that I don't have to lock with the Blight Pile, which I don't think I will have to. I can push through everything except for the Sojourner here. Sojourner? Sojourner? I don't even know what that word means. I'm English and I don't understand the full extent of my language. How dare I? Can I get there without an instant or sorcery as well? Yep, certainly can. I could just not draw a card. Let our opponent leave. What were they even bringing back here? Return target creature cards. I think they paid the kicker on it. So they're just getting back a Fairy Illusionist? Is that not just fine? Return a creature, you gain 2 life. If it was kicked, return another permanent from your graveyard. That's really good, right? You get the Weatherseed Treaty and kill me with the 4/6 Trampler? I'm confused. Well, you don't kill me outright, I don't think, because you're only Sultai. You're only getting +3/+3 and Trample, but still, you know, it's a 7-powered Trampler coming over the front. It might actually, at 12, provide a pretty hefty attack. Yeah, I don't understand why they conceded there. They're also gaining 2 life as well, which takes them kind of out of range of my game plan. So, very weird, but we'll take it. Again, money, air quotes, is on the line here, so we'll take any victories that we can. And it was pretty close either way. And yeah, we're now literally free. We are now earning 100 gems and 4 packs, plus everything we drafted. Pretty sweet. Rare drafting for the win. On to the next one. Alright, we play first. We have Vohar and Perfect Mana and Playables. So let's go. Let's do this, shall we? Start with the island, the spookiest colour of all. Spookier even still than the swamp. You might be thinking, well, swamps are where the zombies and the skeletons are. That's quite spooky, right? No, nothing is more spookier than a counterspell, or a threat of one. Ooh, Blight Pile. I'm actually just going to Blight Pile right now, so that I can Chaplain and get 2 bird tokens. I think that's... I'm just going to hit them in the air until I win, I think is the plan. They're on Boros, so they're probably... Ugh, rude. What do you pick? The 3/3 Vigilant is very annoying. I think they're going to go for the Chaplain. No, they're going to go for the Defiler. Oh. Maybe they have answers to bird tokens, I don't know. Either way, I'd be more afraid of this. Boros doesn't have too many flyers. It's got a couple of unicorns and whatnot that fly around. And I can take this 3 all day, I think. Alright. I am gonna loot, because we do care about some of that stuff. I'm just gonna get rid of the Defiler. I mean, that just nerfed Peacekeeper right then and there, really. Being that I'm not too concerned about their board state right now, let's just mini Mind Rot and Divination. Work my way through the deck. Ooh. Honestly, very happy to see that. There we go. Hit you for 2. And pass. Question is, do I loot a Vohar to get rid of... Oh no, they can make birds! Alright. Chapter 1. Do it. I dare you. Alright, they created a bird. I was wondering if I blocked with Blight Pile. But they made that decision for me, so... Let's get rid of the swamp. A barricade. Lovely. Alright, so that is a Blight Pile activation plus bird. Yeah, really looking good now. I think they'll just trade off happily here, right? Or are they actually going for counters on bird? Looks like it, right? Yeah, I mean, I'm happy with that. That's just turning this into a 1-mana removal spell. Make some soldiers that I can block forever. They'll hold back, presumably. I will blight them. And... I mean, I could loot. Yeah, I just don't care about Splatter Goblin. Tribute to Urborg. Let's, 1 mana unsummon the bird. This is going too well. Hit you for 3 in the air. Got hard removal, conditional removal. The conditional removal is basically hard removal. Okay, they got a Cavalier. We're just going to get rid of that. Now they're trying to get the pressure on. So I can... Let's see. Not going to block the Peacekeeper. I'm going to get rid of the Carvu, I think. So let's do, like... Oh, wait. This... I think is going to be the plan. See if they activate. They do. And then I go... Boop. Take 3. I will loot. Get rid of land. Not going to Vortex the Cavalier. It seems a bit counterproductive. But I will put it to the bottom. Guess I should be looting as well. Don't need the land. Hit you for 3. Alright. Another Cavalier. I probably should just, like, trade a bird with the Cavalier. Since I got the Blight Pile doing its thing. Make another bird. Yeah, I think that's the plan, is just hit them for 3 in the air, offer a trade. If they want to take it, they'll probably want to pretty soon, because they are taking 4 drain off the Blight Pile, and I've still got a Vortex held up as well. So they are pretty much dead. I only really need 1 activation on Blight Pile here for it to really matter. Tap them. Sure. That's them trying to close out the game in any way that they can. I mean, they're attacking into some pretty hefty brick walls here. So I don't exactly see it happening the way that they want it to. Because I'm just going to end step, ping, follow up, ping. So I'll just block here, I'll block here, I'll block here. And then, if anything should go wrong, I've got the Vortex to bounce. Yeah, I mean, what's that actually doing? Not too much, to be completely honest. I'll just activate. Save the one that would kill my Blight Pile. I apparently got to -5, I think. I wasn't actually dead, was I, chat? Was I dead? I don't think I was dead. I think there is a bug that when your opponent concedes during combat, it basically takes you to 0 and then deals the damage after that. I'm assuming that's what happened. I mean, they conceded, so... Can't have been that close. I wasn't really paying attention to my life total because it just didn't feel that close. But, yeah, I mean, we'll take it. Have we got another game, or are we on to the next one? I think we've got one more game. I think we're 6-1. Now I have to double check. Have we got another game? Are we... Yeah, we got one more game, potentially. Anyway, if we lose, we got a couple more games. Either way, let's get to it. Alright, opponent goes first. Our hand is playable, so it is keepable. Got the Vohar to fix ourselves up a little bit, maybe even cheapen the Tolarian Terror, that'd be nice. 3-color Naya. So definitely just going to play the Vohar here. It's going to help us make our land drops and cost reduce the Terror potentially as well. Just looking for that third land. And then this hand becomes pretty unlocked. Start with that now. Rona's Vortex. Alright. Let's get rid of the Barricade, I think. Against a deck that might not have that many flyers, I'm kind of thinking that the Chaplain has some value later down the line. And we'll play the Haunting Figment. We're certainly not anywhere near close to casting the Tolarian Terror, so I'm not like turbo slamming instants and sorceries into my graveyard just yet. I am going to Espionage though, because that could get me the white source I'm looking for. Hit you for 2 unblockable. They held back presumably so this wouldn't happen, and oops, it happened. Okay. Third land for our opponent. Now they're going to attack because they've realised that they should. I'll let them. 3-2 with Ward 2 Enlist. Not seen that card before, but power to you. Flooding a little bit. Just get rid of this grotto. Maybe I should have got rid of the island, I'm not too sure. Yeah, let's work towards Terror a little bit. Because this also lets me get in for 2 here. And now we're playing Terror next turn. The opponent's not gained the mana that they would have maybe liked to deal with this card immediately. Yep, sure, you can boost that all you want. It ain't a 5/5. Uh-huh. Vohar. Oh, I like Splatter Goblin. Let's get rid of an island. So what's the ward? Ward 2. I could bounce the Root Weaver and still play the Tolarian Terror. I kind of think I might just go for Espionage Splatter Goblin though. Down to 14. And maybe it's Splatter Goblin Vohar that blocks the Tortoise. Can make some soldier tokens with their kicker. Yeah, I mean now I'm probably almost certainly blocking with Vohar Splatter Goblin and killing a soldier token. So they should have done that post-combat. Because now I can slightly reduce their value quite happily here. Like, this isn't a big deal to me at all. The excessive swamps are getting a little bit annoying. But no biggie. Excessive swamps are getting a bit annoying. Is there an echo in here? Sounds like there's an echo. Bounce or kill a 1/1 for 2 points of damage. I don't think so. Vortex might be a pretty good combat trick if they try to block the Terror for a while. And it also might deal with annoyances like that Tribute can't right now. So if one or more tokens would be created, those tokens plus a soldier are created. Alright. We're just going to go for the Root Weaver here. Let's see where they go for this. If they attach it to the Queen, that's going to be really good for me. If they're just going to do that, that's also pretty fine. So this is instant speed. Yeah, I think I just want to stick this to the bottom of their deck. Creates a unblockable and a bad block. And still lets me play Blight Pile plus Vortex. So we got ourselves a nice little chop block. Happy with that. Alright, got answers to big threats. We've got a go wide strategy now with the Chaplain next turn. We got a go big strategy with the Tolarian Terror. Okay, can't do much about that. So that's going to kill the Figment. Shot. Not that big of a deal when we got Chaplain to follow up. Alright, so I want to play my Swamp. So that allows me to hold open the Vortex. Also activate Blight Pile as well is relevant. 2 birds, please. Alright. There's things I want to say, but I don't want to jinx myself, so I'm going to keep a certain few things to myself until the game is over. Do you have the answer to the Tolarian Terror? You do. You got to tear asunder. But it's getting a little bit too late for that to matter, as you have spent a whole turn doing that, and I'm going to ping you for 2. A Figment. Hit you for 2. Play the Figment. Play the Marsh. Pass the turn. Plan on pinging you for 2 again next turn, and then hitting you for 2. Maybe even 4, actually, because of the Vortex plus the Figment. Yeah, wouldn't mind just removing that outright. Opponent's really got to close this game out, so there are a few like domain cards that will give +X and trample, which will be very annoying. Alright, that is a 3/2 with Ward. So I'm just going to do that. More lands. I think this is just lethal now. If I just bounce this for 1 mana, makes my Figment unblockable, hit you for 4, ping you for 2. Yeah, what I was going to say was that our deck this entire time has impressed me more than I thought it would. It's been deadly efficient with its spells. We only flooded out once, and the rest of the time it's just been perfect top deck after perfect top deck. And we've had a defender strategy that worked, we had an alternative strategy that came into play, the right amount of removal. We weren't just like top decking removal when we needed a threat. We definitely had must answer threats, especially some that were just like threats that were must answer, but you really didn't want to answer it, like Blight Pile. Like a 3/3 that couldn't really attack you, except for when you paid 3 mana. It just feels really bad to try and remove. Yeah, we just had like even Tolarian Terrors that look like the thing you should be afraid of, but like the rest of the deck just came through in the clutch. While our opponent was busy dealing with Defilers and Tolarian Terrors, we had bird tokens that were just absolutely brutalizing our opponent. The thing is about this format is it's so light on sweepers. I haven't actually seen a sweeper being played against me in the 2 drafts that I've done, which is, you know, 14 plus games, something like that, of drafting. At no real point have I seen anyone sweeping my bird tokens away or anything like that. So things that go wide as disgustingly well as Wingmantle Chaplain just seem like a premium. I mean, maybe as I get higher in the ranks, maybe that'll change, but yeah, this deck was just S tier for me. I was very happy with it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed watching today's video. Hopefully I've managed to give you guys some pointers on how to get into drafting yourself. This one's definitely real good. Like, this is a format where if you are a control player, usually control in draft isn't really a thing outside of like cube. But you know, I've played 2 control matchups now, and I've gone 7-2 and 7-1. So you know, control is pretty good. I like control when I can pull it off. But yeah, that was pretty sweet. Either way though, guys, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe if you did enjoy the content. It's very long form, which YouTube doesn't typically like, so any kind of engagement, commenting, liking, subscribing, all of that goes to help out the video a great deal, and I'd really appreciate it. We'll be back with maybe another draft, honestly. I'm not entirely sure. I've got some Explorer decks to play, got some standard decks to play. We got all sorts anyway, up and coming in no time at all, so hopefully you guys enjoy that. And I'm going to leave it off here. Take care and have a wonderful rest of your day. Peace.